My name is Michael, and I love women. But I have a submissive side to me that many can't handle. I don't want a sex change or to live as a woman. I just desire to be the more passive, gentler role in a relationship. Every time I meet a girl, no matter how straight I play it, as I get closer to them, my feelings can't help but come out. With my most recent ex, a wonderful girl called Melissa, I suggested that she could be on top as we made love. She seemed to enjoy this reversal and reveled in being more dominant. But my girlish moans and gasps revealed my true feelings. Our relationship did not last much longer after that. Out shopping a few months later, I bumped into my now ex-girlfriend Melissa's auntie. We had met a few times at family functions, and even though she was older, we had got on well. I hoped that my parting with Melissa had not turned her against me. Her name was Grace, and she was beautiful. Her hair was blonde and bouncy, and her makeup was immaculate, even for an afternoon trip to the grocery store. She was wearing a violet dress in a thin, summery material that showed the outline of her bra, drawing attention to her ample and beautiful breasts. As we made small talk, she mentioned that she had always liked me, and it was such a shame that Melissa and I had split. Whilst chatting, she touched my arm in the way that women do. Loving the inclusion, I found a way of lightly touching her back. As the conversation flowed, Grace suggested continuing at her place. I live just around the corner. Why don't you pop in when you're done here? Within the hour, Grace was welcoming me into her home. Let me get you a drink. What would you like? Too early for wine. As she poured our drinks, I noticed her eyes taking in my appearance. Unprompted, she said, You are very pretty. I was stumped. Thank you, Grace, I stammered. She could see that she had rattled me. Touching my arm like before, she spoke softly. Michael, girls share secrets. I know all about you from my niece. I was silent. She continued casually. I know, my sister, Melissa's mother knows, Melissa's sister knows, and I'm sure most, if not all, of her girlfriends know as well. I felt a little dizzy. Sweetie, when there's a breakup, girls always want to know the gossip. She paused. Are you okay? Moving closer, she gently touched my cheek. Maybe with a little help, you could be even prettier. My mind was a jumble. Would you like that? I was stunned. Was this some sort of joke? It's okay, Michael. You don't need to worry about anything. Now fetch my purse. It's in the hallway. In a daze, I stepped away, picking up her purse and brought it back to her. Grace reached in and took out a small compact. Taking a brush, she dabbed rouge onto my cheeks. An electric charge passed through me. I couldn't believe what was happening. We locked eyes for a moment. She smiled and I felt lightheaded. I'm going to thin out your brows a little before I do your makeup, okay? Grace took her time working on my face. Eventually, she held up the compact mirror to me. I was thrilled, and I had to agree that I was pretty. Or at least, I felt pretty. What about lipstick? I quietly suggested. Grace smiled and reached into her purse, taking out a red lipstick and applying it. I looked in the mirror again. I swooned at the sight of myself. Grace said, What a gorgeous girl you are. My heart beat intensely, and I felt a thrill like never before. We looked at each other. I focused on her lips, and I wished that she would kiss me. You like being the girl, don't you? Grace said. It's not just that you like being pretty. You like being pretty because you want to be a girl. Am I right? Instead of Melissa, maybe you would have been better off with an older woman like me to take care of you. I was overwhelmed by her words. Tell me the truth, she asked. Gathering my confidence, I spoke. Yes, I want to be the girl. But you're already being the girl right now, Grace stated. What do you mean? I said. You're standing here, passively, just like a girl, wondering if I'm going to kiss you, instead of taking the initiative like a man. Well, are you? I said, feeling bold. Grace guided my chin toward her, She then moved her lips onto mine and gave me a gentle kiss. I felt her lips opening up, drawing mine apart, her tongue entering my mouth. I stood still as Grace pressed her mouth over mine. Eventually, I put my arms around her and gently hugged her as we kissed. You kiss like a girl does, willing and responding to my lead. Would you like me to help you become that girl? Teach you about clothes and how your body will change as you begin to develop breasts and start your period? Let your Aunt Grace instruct you in the ways of womanhood. I was in a trance. I want you to tell me everything, Aunt Grace. First, we need a name for you. What do you think? Grace said. I've always liked Juliet, I replied. Juliet it is, Grace proclaimed. Aunt Grace and the lovely Juliet. My Juliet is pretty, feminine, and delicate, and she's crazy about her Aunt Grace, she laughed. I played along, replying, Aunt Grace is beautiful, sophisticated, and knows exactly what Juliet needs. What do you think Aunt Grace wants to do with Juliet right now? She asked me. Kiss her, I hope, I flirted back. We smiled and then shared another long, deep kiss. When it ended, Grace looked into my eyes and said, Upstairs, come with me. Holding hands, she led me to her bedroom. As we entered, Grace said, Juliet, I would love for you to be wearing a bra and panties, like a proper young lady. Let me get you some. Taking them from her lingerie drawer, she passed the underwear to me. Beautiful, dainty, powder blue panties and a matching bra, both covered in ribbon and lace. They're so pretty. I love them, I said. Grace watched me as I stripped and put them on. What a lovely girl you are, Juliet, Grace said. Grace went into the bathroom to freshen up. When she returned, she had taken off her dress and underwear. Standing in front of her, I no longer felt like a man. I was in my panties and bra with a full face of makeup. I was now a girl. Grace lay on the bed and patted a spot for me to join her. I lay down next to her, and we looked at each other. I remember when I had small breasts like you, Grace said. I replied, I hope my breasts end up being as big as yours. Why is that? Grace asked. Because you have the most beautiful breasts, and we'd be able to share bras. Grace laughed. You're so precious, Juliet. Are you ready for me? She asked. I think so, I replied. I lay passively while Grace moved. I felt overpowered by her. Tell me who you are. She stared down at me, clearly relishing the control she had. I'm Juliet. I'm a girl, and you're making love to me. And who am I? Grace demanded. You're my Aunt Grace, and you're helping me become the girl I was always meant to be. She smiled and said, Good girl, Juliet, as she moved her hips back and forth, taking us both over the edge. Grace rolled off me, and we lay together, our bodies warm and soft. There is so much girl in you, Juliet, she said. I blushed and snuggled up close to her. You've been so good that I've got a special treat for you. Look over to the closet door. Hanging on the door was a gorgeous pink, knee-length party dress. Grace licked her lips and said, I can't wait to get my little girl all dolled up in her fanciest dress and show her off to everyone. Maybe we should invite Melissa round, she chuckled.